And on the ground they go with the running back. And he's able to pick up the first down before he's tackled right at the 10. Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
Gun.
They'll run here with Freeman. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the 3rd quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the 2nd half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. A break from the ground game here. Flacco. And he fires one that's intercepted. It's the linebacker, Michael Kendricks. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a 2nd half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
After the interception, here's Wilson, escaping the pressure right. That's caught by the rookie, Rashad Penny. And he's out of bounds, but not before a big pickup that time on what's going to wind up being the final play of the 3rd quarter. So that play much needed there as they're all the way up near the 40 for a 1st and 10. Throwing now, Wilson off 1st down. And the Broncos get there and take him down.
When you spend your 1st-round pick on a pass rusher, you are absolutely counting on him to be an impact player. And there you go. Right away, he gets to the quarterback.
And guess what? Likely the first of many that we're going to see from that young man. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Here's Wilson to throw. Going up top. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the 4th quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to do with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though.
Tempo.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Wilson going for the deep ball. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Flushed out right. On the run. He'll let this go deep right side. And no, it's incomplete. Pete Carroll rolled. The dice, but it didn't work out. And the Broncos are going to get the football back in great field position. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. In on the stop, it was the UCF product, Shaquem Griffin. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
On 2nd down, Flacco to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. This is 3rd and 9. Now Flacco. And this is going to be incomplete.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. And McManus able to put it through. And that will bump the lead up to 11. So his 2nd field goal of the game, and that could turn out to be the big one. Yeah, you have to make them score twice to beat you, and that's not impossible. But here in the 4th quarter, puts their backs clearly against the wall. After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And out now come the Seahawks. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here. And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there. You think that factored in? I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. He's going to go up top again. It's caught inside the 25. And they're going to have this way down deep in Denver territory. A big play that time for the Seahawks. 56 yards. Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, here's Wilson on 1st down. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Darren Waller from 19 yards away. And the Seahawks have made this a 1-score game. All right, now the Seahawks face a big 2-point conversion attempt. Here's Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. And this is caught. They got it. And that could be an important 2 points. It gets them back within a field goal. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. And Denver getting set to take the field. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Setting up to throw, Flacco. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter. Turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
He'll buy some time right. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the Seahawks have taken the lead here in the fourth. Extra point up and through by Myers. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Left side here to Sanders. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down, keep the sticks moving.
Well, some good games around the league here early in week 1, and this one's shaping up to be as good as any of them as we come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Flacco. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. He lost 6 there on the first down play. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
Operating out of the gun, Flacco. Unable to corral him, he fights through. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
The Broncos on third down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This is 3rd and 16. He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And the defense loses him. It's complete. Give him 30 yards there. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And in the second quarter, he may very well run by him. But in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Back to throw. Got him in. He finds Sanders. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. And now the Seahawks are going to call another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th.
Wow, Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but not. You got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
They practice this all the time.
They practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again, the 25, 2nd and 10. He's back to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. A good pickup there of 20 yards. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. Back to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Finding room inside the 40. Throw right side, caught by Davis. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. And he did exactly what they needed him to do, Charles. Got out of bounds. They have no timeouts.
And they knew that before the play even began. Still executed it. How many times have we seen it happen where you know it, yet a guy's still looking for a timeout or trying to stay in bounds? He got it done.
Here's Wilson. And he'll go down at the 28. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Nice solid game there, partner, but the clock is starting to become his enemy.
Absolutely. Every second right now, more and more precious as it ticks. Now Wilson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Incomplete. And we're down to 8 seconds now.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
From here, it would be a 45-yard field goal attempt, certainly in range, but they'll look for more yardage on 3rd down. Now Wilson. Dancing to his left. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. Maybe some temptation here to try to go for the win, but I think you got to kick the field goal.
I agree totally. When you look at the time left on the clock, that's not a spot where you take the gamble. Go ahead and kick the field goal here and take it from there.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. With 2 seconds left in regulation, this to force overtime. And this one is right through. And this game is tied. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a good effort on the return there. Gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. There for the tackle, Jacob Martin. As a fan of the NFL, for an opener, you can't ask for much more than this overtime in Week 1.
I know it's hard to believe that some people may not have been watching our game, but I'll bet through social media they found out this one was snug and getting into overtime, and they flipped over here in a hurry. This is fantastic. If you're a fan of ball, you love these types of games.
First OT toss coming for Joe Flacco. Flushed out right. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down.
Monday.
Now the pitch to Freeman. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Second down, Flacco now. Eluding the pressure right. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
Appeared to me he was just trying to find an open receiver and got forced out to his right. Had to come off of a guy downfield, try and hit his back. Unable to connect. Should have been an easier throw moving to his right, though.
Yeah, much easier, obviously, for a right-handed quarterback. If he was going to his left, a little bit tougher.
Exactly.
Third down, Flacco needs a decent chunk of yardage. Steps away to his left. Now he'll let it go deep down the left sideline. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. Well done by the defense. They did their job here in overtime.
Boy, did they ever, because now it's fourth and really long. So if you do decide to go for it, people think you might be a little bit on the nut side, don't they? But guess what? If I did decide to go for it, I'd call something deep. I'd throw a deep pass and hope that the defense didn't remember to just knock it down. If they intercept it, it's almost like a great punt and helps out your defense with field position.
The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Yeah, part 1 is done, now part 2. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. 2 minutes to go here in overtime. We'll be back after this. They go play action here on 1st down. Sliding out of the pocket. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Different pass rushes are designed for different things. Sometimes you want to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Sometimes you want him to flush. I don't know exactly how this one was designed, but they made sure they moved him to his right. He got out of the pocket. Unfortunately for him, he was hit as he tried to throw the ball, and that resulted in an incompletion.
Now it's Wilson. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. Nearly was an interception. He's lucky to get that one back. The Seahawks on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10. To throw is Wilson. Being chased out left. He's going to air this out for Baldwin. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Well, what was the term that you just used a minute ago?
Well, especially in overtime, mistakes get magnified, so it's time for us to get our microscopes out, right? I mean, take a look at what's going on out there. That was very close to being a crucial play.
Yeah, got to look that ball in, didn't, and it hit the ground. A big call here in overtime. They're going for it on 4th down.
Gotta go. Let's go, 14.
The Seahawks will go for it. It's Wilson. Flush to his right. Now he'll let it go deep right. It's caught inside the 25. And he is in for the score. And it is absolute stunned silence here as they win it on the road in overtime. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters, what you wanted. But how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So for the Seahawks, it was a game that could have gone either way, but they get the touchdown in overtime to secure the Week 1 victory. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to the Windy City to take on the Bears. Meanwhile, for Denver, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll be at home for one next week against the Oakland Raiders. I'm Brandon.